So for this hot sauce topic, there's something I ran across. It's been a topic for the last few days on several social media platforms. It's basically discussing how uh, black men tend to date non-black women, and whenever they have some sort of falling out with them or some sort of, I don't know, catastrophe happen with them, going to the internet and basically speaking out about it and possibly have an expectation from black women to basically save them or to be on their side. And I've seen a lot of black women basically respond back and said, well, we've told y'all. And black men are firing back saying, no, y'all are just jealous. And so I guess my question would be, what do you guys think about that? With, being put in this position to save and be on their side, because we want to support black men, right? But when it comes to a situation like this, where they are typically with non-black women, and then things take a turn for the worse, they just don't listen to us in the first place, and then they're in this situation. So, what do you guys think?
So I wanted to talk about that because that goes directly into colorism. And the reason why it goes into colorism is because obviously we were colonized, and a lot of black men have this thing where they want to dominate the other cultures. And their cultures are not good enough, and a lot of it is because of colorism. So, and like Keisha says, texturism. So, black women are considered harsh, talk too much, got too much drama, and honestly, sometimes it's just you being held accountable that people don't like. And then so I'll hear things like other cultures uphold us better. Other cultures serve you better and do the things that you want them to do. And, they don't come with all that drama and all that gotta cuss you out and that strong black woman stuff. When honestly, the reason why women were made strong black women is because our families were broken up and split apart. And then they were left to be like that. And so women had to defend themselves and their kids. But then we get looked at as if we are undesirable because we're not like the other women. And we get looked at as we're harsh, and our skin is undesirable, our hair is undesirable. It's it always befuddles me.
Well,
I already know you got a lot to say, Ashley. I already know.
you know what? I'm just like, I want to care so much about black men being up in arms about this particular topic and us not being there to catch them when they fall. But I don't give a damn. You chose who you wanted based off of faulty reasoning. Because at the end of the day, it's plenty of black women who want to be soft. We want to turn it all over. We want to be able to say, yep, he got it. And I could just sit back and relax and not have to step into that strong woman role. We're not allowed to be. You let me be that, and I'm going to be that. So don't come at me with, oh, they're just more accepting and they're this, they're that. Yeah, but who gonna have your back when the chips fall? Who gonna have your back? Who out there marching in the street when y'all get murdered? Us. We still do it. Even though we your last choice, we still do it. So I don't have the heart for it. I have the heart for the black men who I know put me first and uphold me as that black queen. I don't have a heart for these ones that want me to come catch them when they fall after we told you not to do what you did.
Part of me feels that that is just plain out weaponizing incompetence. It's just weaponizing that, because there's no way that you have seen historically how you have been treated in this country and then pretend as if that these individuals somehow have some sort of great history lesson on your life, and they don't. And you know that. But you make a conscious effort to not only sleep with them, but marry them and have children with them. And then you all of a sudden come to your senses when they aren't doing what they need to do because you're a black man. I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
And me.
I don't buy that.
My problem,
I'm
I
sorry.
don't mind. For me, interracial dating is nothing, right? It's not a thing. I don't care.
Right.
My problem comes in when you say, I don't like black women as a black man. That's what itches my
Mm-hmm.
tailbone. Is when you say, I don't like this and I'm that. Because then I'm like, that's colonization, that's self hatred. And then whenever you're spewing out self hatred, of course you're going to get with somebody else who does not look like you or does not like you. Really, they just want the experience, and then they get the experience, and then they get their souvenirs, and then the next thing you know, you're not allowed to be a father, you're not allowed to be a husband, and you are undesirable in their world, or you was undesirable in their world first, but you didn't mind because at least you weren't getting with a black woman. And that's when I have the problem, is when you derogate yourself and uplift another culture, but then whenever that other culture shows you who they are, you're like, wait a minute, y'all, I'm coming back, feel bad for me. And that's where my problem comes in. I love a black
Yeah.
man, but I
I
don't
think
like when
somebody
we're not desired because of what we are.
I think somebody did a TikTok on that about a certain celebrity's preference. And they were like, through all the mothers of his children, he has 10 of them. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And they said that there was, but that person went through each mother and said there is clearly he has a preference, but he has not ever came out of his mouth and been like, well, I don't like black women because they don't do it. She's like, that is the difference.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, he has a preference, but he ain't came out of his mouth and been like, being ignorant. He wasn't doing that. And so I agree with you, Suge. I really do.
Yeah, preference is okay. Don't derogate me.
Right.
Okay, I absolutely agree. Preferences are fine. I have a hard time believing that for a lot of people, that for a lot of black men, that it's a preference. It's not a preference, it's a conscious choice. Because here's the thing, it would be a preference if I could look down your whole dating history and see that you dated all types of women. You dated black women, you dated Hispanic women, you dated white women, you dated Asian women, you dated all types of women. Then I could say, okay, he may have a preference. If you literally, like you said, Auntie Suge, if this person is saying, I don't like black women or I won't date black women, then it's not a preference. And even with that individual that you used as the example, he has a type. His type is an ambiguous looking woman where she might be something, but she might not be. Like, she mixed, she looked this way, she light, she got the right hair type, all that's his type. But that still says a lot. Kudos to him for not downing us, cause like some men do, but it still says a lot when your preference looks a specific way. That says a lot about what's going on in your own head. Because self-hatred is a thing. It's a thing. And my thing is, do you love your mama? Like, is she beautiful to you? Is your black mother beautiful to you? Or your black daughters beautiful to you when that is your preference? How does your black daughter look at it when her daddy is only dating these women of other complexions and races? How does that look?
Well, let me also add in too that it's so tricky because we can't say all black men who date non-black women think this way or have a preference or a conscious choice or whatever.
Right.
But when you're asking, like, do you love your black mother? Maybe they don't. Maybe they've seen some things with their black mother that they would not want in a partner, and they decided, I'm not dating black women from here. Because the way my mom is, my aunties, like, I don't need nobody that's going to be loud and just, somebody I can't have any control over anything. Like, I don't want that. I'm going to go over here and go with this, right? And that's not to say all non-black women are controllable or anything like that. But I'm just saying that maybe they don't love their black mother. Maybe they don't love their black aunties and their black grandma. Maybe every time they are in a room with their mother, they're like, oh, God, you get on my nerves. Like, I can't deal with this, right?
That's true.
So that could also be a part of it, too. But I agree with all
I
y'all.
agree.
I can't stand to hear a black man say, I hate black women, or I hate dating black women, or I don't want to date black women because this, and this. And I'm like, do you understand how diverse and dynamic and just beautiful and amazing we are? Have you even looked at all of that? Or did you just label that and then say
I
that's it? Like I'm just not.
Amber, when you said maybe they don't like their black moms, I fully agree. There could be some traumatic things going on. But when it's reversed, if I went out there and said, "Well, my daddy was an addict. I don't like black men because they don't be a part of our life. My cousins went to jail. They always in prison. I don't do black men who be in prison. I don't do." Do you
You talking about the
know
clap back? Oh
the
my God.
the
It would,
way they will snatch my edges off?
they would.
If I went out to the
They
streets
would.
and started saying that, they would snatch clean, bald.
Mhm.
I would be bald, y'all, because they would snatch me up that quick. And they would look at me like I was crazy if I said that.
Yep.
So when they do it, we just have to sit back and take that. And then, but if I did it, or if any of y'all do it, y'all will be looked at like y'all is crazy.
Yep.
So one of my favorite songs by Angie Stone is Black Brother. Like I love that song because I like the way she talks about the black man and how he's so dynamic. And you know what I mean? Like no matter what, he's a king, he's a father, he's a son, he's an uncle. And so I stick up for black men every single time. I'm always the one that's like, no, don't do black men because I have strong black men that I watch in my life. I got my brother, I got my father, I have you know what I mean, my husband. And so when I met my husband, I assumed that he was gonna think I don't want to date her because she's dark skinned. And the reason why I assumed that is because growing up, that's what a lot of lighter skinned men said. Like, ugh, I don't want no dark skinned girl, or skillet, or they had the colorism jokes. And so when I met Abraham and he was like, "Oh my God, I love your skin. I can't wait to have dark babies." I was like, "What?" Like,
Dang, I bet he
okay,
disappointed because his babies are not dark at all.
they're not. But he had the same assumption, right? He had the assumption that I had that they would be. But the fact that he said that and that's how he came at me, it lets me know that all black men don't think like that. You just have some ignorant ones that say things like that, and it's because a lot of times it's miseducation.
I just wanted to say something in response to what Auntie Keish said. That's just it. It is amazing to me how often you will hear black men say they don't want to be stereotyped, and that is exactly what they do to black women. Like you literally, even if you do hate your mama, she could have gave you a reason. You could have had a very toxic mother. Your mother is not every black woman, but you just stereotyped every single black woman based off of your mother and your grandmother and your aunts, and that don't make sense to me. So the very thing you don't want people to do to you is what you turn around and do to the black women who look like you. I don't understand that. I don't get it.
Well, it's the
And I
same
only
thing.
say that because I'm in it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Amber.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I only say that because I've dated outside my race before, so and I have been. I believe in interracial relationships. You can date non-black, but there'll be a cold day in hell where I sit up here and pretend that I don't know the history of white men. There'll be a cold day in hell where I sit up here and allow a white man to disrespect me, or any man that's non-black to disrespect me as a black woman. And I'm not gonna just not date black men. There was actually a girl on TikTok who said that she was gonna start dating black men, dating white men or men outside of her race because she's always been disrespected by black men, and she's a pretty dark-skinned girl. And the moment she said that, when I mean they snatched this girl's edges all over her comments
Yeah.
because no, I'm serious. She had like death threats and
No,
everything
but not snatched her
from black
edges.
men. Huh?
Snatched her edges. This.
They did. They went off on this girl because she never said not one time in that video that she would stop dating black men. She just said, "I'm going to start dating outside of my race." She never said she was going to stop. But that just, as soon as she said that,
Yeah.
comments in shambles from black men.
But
Shambles.
also the other thing too is that like I know you, Keish, so I know if you're dating somebody outside your race, you're gonna figure out like what their views are on particular race. Like you're gonna do your research, you're gonna figure it out, you're gonna pay attention and observe and all of that before you decide to get more serious with this person. Because what
Absolutely.
happens is these black men get into these relationships with non-black women because ooh, they fine, they look foreign. That's the word they like. They foreign or whatever, exotic, whatever, and don't dig deeper. So then you get more serious with this person and you realize, oh, they think these things about me. They think these things about my culture. And like, because you didn't do your research in the beginning, now you're stuck in this situation and then you want to come back and ask for help from your community when you should have done all that in the first place. In any relationship that you get in, you want to get to know that person, their values, their views on things, because at some point they're going to slip up and you're going to be like, oh, I know that's a Freudian slip. That means you really believe it. I don't like Freud. But that's when your tongue slips. You say something that you've been thinking for a long time and it comes out when you don't mean for it to. And a lot of the times that's your actual thoughts about something. So if you pay attention, you'll find that stuff out earlier in the game. But do not sit here and say, I will not date black women, get into this relationship, find out that this person looks at you a certain way or thinks a certain way about you, and then come back and be like, oh, I'm sorry, my fellow black woman, I love y'all, come on, support me, because like this girl did me dirty. No, absolutely not, sir. I'm not doing that.
Can I talk a little bit about why that's perpetuated? Because when you look at music videos, when you listen to lyrics, like there's a whole R&B artist, and I was in love for decades, who said I had to cop that foreign. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole song. And then like when you look at music videos, you constantly see the exotic girls. Even when they did Making the Band, it was like, oh no, we need a pretty light skinned girl to sing. What if she can't even sing that well? But that's what we need.
Who said that?
You said,
I was watching that. I don't remember they saying.
mm-hmm.
Did they say?
They're talking about
Oh,
Sarah.
I'm about
They're talking about the girl. And it was like, we need her to sing this because she has the look. And so when you say she has the look, now you're upholding the mixed look or and it's okay to be mixed. I don't have no problem with nobody because I am who I am. But they're upholding a certain look and then they're glorifying it and they're glamorizing it. And then now everybody who's listening is like, ooh, yeah, I want that look. And then whenever you come, now you're the undesirable. I literally had somebody say when I was walking through the dorms, don't nobody want no black ass girl. And I was like, I turned around and it was a black dude. The way I ate him, it was delicious. But why I had to hear that?
Right.
Let me hold on. Just give me a moment. See, because and this is the thing too, and here's, I want to acknowledge the fact that our experiences are different because I'm light skinned. So that's one thing. I don't want anybody to come in here thinking, oh, she don't recognize her privilege. I damn sure do. But that's another thing that pisses me off too. It should not be us that's wrangling these black men and trying to tell them what's right. Where are the other freaking black men who actually do support us, who do uphold us, who do want to be with us? Where are those black men to get those types of black men in line? Like, where was a man in that scenario for you that could have stepped up and said, don't you dare say that to her? Like, where was that?
He was standing next to him. He was standing right next to him. Yeah.
Pisses me off.
But he didn't have the same views. So just because you get one ignorant person doesn't mean that the other person feels the same way. It's just that, I mean, and we were younger, so you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't hold him to his 20-year-old self now, but there are black men who will stand up. Like I said, I don't know if you heard the story that I said about Abraham, but he was one that made me like, go natural, babe. You're beautiful. I love your hair. You don't need nails. You don't need eyelashes. Just wear your skin. Wear you. Be you. Wear your face. And because we are the only culture, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to double down just in case somebody try to come for me in the comments, that got to wake up and feel like we got to have a perm in our hair, or, you know, our hair is stuck to the side of our head, and we got to do all these things to make ourselves beautiful. But you get other people who can wake up and all of a sudden, you know, it's, oh, you're so beautiful when you wake up in the morning, but we don't get that. And so that's why I went natural, and that's why I honed my blackness, because it was like, no matter what, I'm popping.
be popping,
It
Suge.
do
Hell,
be popping.
I would have to say, yes, Suge, I do agree. There are men who will stick up for you, black men. I've seen it in the comments on TikTok and Twitter, and I've seen them make videos like, y'all need to quit this. Like, y'all don't need to treat our sisters like this. However, the only thing I would say to that is that those black men are so few, far in between, that they don't have enough mass behind them to continue on with keeping addressing this. That is the problem I have, because and then when we come across at least the black man who is treating us right or supporting us, that we're like, oh, he's like, you know, a needle out of a haystack, because we don't get that type of support often. And then it's like, where does this why don't we get that support often, and why do such a big chunk of black men think this way, while there's a smaller number that don't, and then they get called simp, pandering, she ain't gonna sleep with you, bro, if you have her back. Like, why do you feel the need to disrespect a darker skinned woman? Why?
And man, this is making me think a little bit about like our younger girls, our younger black girls who are hearing this, who are on the internet, not young like child, but like teenagers, young adults, even in your late 20s, because you don't really come into your own until a little later in the game. And that's where Suge's talking about, you feel like for a long time you got to wake up. You got to have a wig on. You got to put your eyelashes on. You got to put your makeup on. You can't leave the house unless you're fully done up, because you never know what anybody's going to say, right? But going back to what I was trying to say is like thinking about how this affects our young girls who are forming their identity. And you're hearing all over the internet how, you know, black men don't like black women, right? Or saying that they don't want to date a black woman. That takes a toll on your mental health, especially when you don't quite know who you are. And a lot of times that can lead to people feeling suicidal, or feeling like they don't have a place that they fit into this world. If they don't fit in with their black men, and they don't fit in with the non-black men or women, and then maybe they feel isolated from their families, like, where does that leave you? Where do I fit in? And that does often lead to suicidal thoughts.
Soundstripe.